What are you asking for?
Well, you can put him for anywhere from 2 to 6. It's he used a deadly weapon, so I guess it's a 3G offense. So he'd have to do half the time. He's been in for a little bit now, and so I think it's more of a based on what you have here and his past and all the other things that have occurred. Maybe 10 years probation to try to straighten him out. But the indications are that you may be spinning your wheels here. I'm being totally frank with honest with the court, especially if someone doesn't take responsibility. And I know I'm speaking in reference to my client.
I understand.
He's a young kid. His actions that were described in the PSI report from investigating officers, especially with this type of charge and looking at penitentiary time, it's not good. So how can I make the recommendation? As an attorney, would love to give him a second chance and put him on probation, but I'm going to set him up for failure immediately. But it's just a 3rd degree felony, which is 2 to 10, and the cap is 6. So you're looking at another 2 years if he's convicted of the 10 years.
Well, something kind of more than that. He's on parole from the juvenile system for several violations.
Yeah, I think
He's on parole and he commits this crime of deadly conduct, and he's been through the system since 21, and evading arrest, unauthorized use of motor vehicles, theft, violation of juvenile orders, violation of juvenile court order, violation of juvenile court order, and then parole, a form of parole that we really don't deal with too much from the juvenile system, but he was under a form of supervision when he commits this 3rd degree felony of shooting, being with some, or a party to it, shooting firearms at others. And we're talking about AR-15 style weapons here. But he pleads guilty under oath, and then we have this pre-sentence report. So, what are you asking?
we're asking for a deferred verdict.
Go ahead.
Judge, you probably have 6 to 10 individuals that are going to appear separately at different points in times in front of you out of this particular fact situation. Some people in the courtroom and those listening will remember this nonsense that occurred back in May of 2025. The facts are that there was a shooting, that there were 2 people in this particular scenario that were armed with AR-15 style rifles. This is one of them. He's a menace to our community. He is making Jefferson County unsafe. We cannot do anything to get this man's attention other than to put him into prison. This whole scenario and what our community keeps having to deal with in Jefferson County makes a lot of us fearful to sleep at night. When Mendoza states here that after getting shot that he believes that young people deserve a second chance, I agree with him. He even said that after 6 to 7 bullets entered through his apartment, and he was one of the people that is the victim in this particular matter. But it's that senseless level of violence that drives us to try to do something different. Detective Jackson, who's president of the courtroom, is mortified by having to deal with these type of matters. And what is more compelling about this young man and why it is that we can't help him by probation is the fact that he's shown no remorse. He's accepted no responsibility. When he was interviewed by the police department, he basically laughed about this, singing and dancing during the periods of times in which this was being interviewed. After toting around an AR-15 on surveillance video where shootings occurred and somebody could have been killed, all while he was on parole. I just don't know how you help somebody who will not help themselves. That's why, despite his age, I ask that what's most appropriate is that you give him 6 years.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor, unless Mr. Lightfoot would like.
Did you want to say anything, sir? All right. The pre-sentence report is made a part of the record for all purposes, and the pre-sentence report includes some information. Essentially, the defendant's version of all of this at the end of the day was, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. The victim of this case states, I feel as though everyone deserves a second chance, but not when you just randomly shoot at people. He should not get probation. It was several of us in my apartment at the time, in their home. When gunshots rang out, we got on the floor. A friend's car was shot up. I think 2 groups thought the car belonged to another group, not us. There were at least 6 or 7 bullets that entered these people's apartment from the outside. Because you and others are shooting at each other downstairs, and then people are trying to live, and you got 6 and 7 bullets whizzing by. What kind of place is this supposed to be? This is the United States of America. We're supposed to have better than this. And he states, I don't deserve what happened. I even had to move out of my own home. This was supposed to be a safe space. Well, the detective in this case, his summary is pretty good. And it summarizes what this is all about. Chaos and irresponsible, lawless behavior by you and others. This is a case where multiple persons, multiple humans could have been killed. As a result of shooting at others, one of them was struck with gunfire and was rushed to the hospital, and another one was shot in the arm. When they arrested you and were investigating, your attitude displayed no concern. You were bothered by being arrested, knowing that people's lives had been jeopardized, people could have been killed, and somebody was shot. You were singing and dancing during the interview, having a good time. No remorse or showing of any care whatsoever. After being told what charges you would be placed under, you started singing and dancing again. Took no accountability for your actions. And this is all while you had been dealt with more than once, numerous times under the juvenile laws for your irresponsible behaviors of evading arrest, unauthorized use of motor vehicles, thefts, then violations of your juvenile court orders, and you were under a form of parole with the juvenile system when you were involved with all of this. According to the probation office, you failed to take responsibility for your actions and blamed it on others and stated you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time and expressed no remorse for the victims. Any success rate on probation is poor, according to the probation office. Anything else after all of this? Did you want to say anything, sir? You don't want to say anything? You were doing a lot of singing and dancing at the time that they were investigating. You don't want to do any talking now?
What they talking about? Nothing.
You weren't, they were lying. Everybody seems to have had a different story here. The investigation is completely different from what you say. But you're the one in all the trouble. You're the one with all these juvenile violations. You're the one on parole. You're the one who shouldn't have been even out there around any of this. What kind of parole are you following? Parole laws don't allow you to be doing some of this, but yet you're doing it anyway. But the most important thing is you looked me right in the eye and stated that you were guilty of this crime under oath. Didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Were you lying to me? Were you lying to me under oath?
No.
You want to add perjury to everything else? You were hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 6 years, and the judgment shall reflect that a deadly weapon, namely a firearm, was used in the commission of this offense. You will be given credit for all time you have served in accordance with this case. Do you understand what has happened today, sir? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe there's some-
That is all.